If you have a daughter who's in that 10-year-old and up age group, there is a lot going on in her brain and in her body. I'm completely fascinated by all that we're learning right now about the brain, and particularly the changes that are happening in these adolescents. So we know that, brain cells are communicating with each other very rapidly, forming these very important pathways, and that information's coming up from the body to the brain to keep it informed about what's going on out there. So that's all important. But also, if your daughter's in this age group and she started having her menstrual periods, then we've got a lot of hormonal issues going on as well. But what might really be interesting for you and for her is to understand that the brain is actually controlling the ovaries, and so it controls that menstrual cycle. And the way it does that is it sends a message to the ovaries to tell the ovaries to produce estrogen and progesterone in a certain pattern, which forms the menstrual cycle. It determines when the period's going to start. It determines when ovulation's going to happen. All of that is actually under the control of the brain. So at different times, maybe under some big emotional times or something going on just health-wise for your daughter, her menstrual cycle her period actually might happen a few days before or a few days later than what she expects. Most of the time, that is normal. It's not always going to be like clockwork the way we'd like it to be, because the body is communicating with the brain and the brain is adjusting its input back to the body to make sure everything is working okay. If you have concerns, obviously you should talk to your daughter's doctor about it, but for the most part, these are normal occurrences in your daughter's life. I suggest that you make sure she has a really good understanding about hormones, because and I know they're going to have a big impact on her life for years and years and years. So get her a copy of my book, I'm a Girl, Hormones. It has beautiful illustrations, anatomy figures, and it goes through the whole menstrual cycle, how it all happens. Lots of great information in her. It'll be in here for her. It'll be a great resource. And you can get it on my website, you can get it on Amazon. A must read if your daughter has already started having her periods. I'm Dr. M with Anatomy for Kids.